Okay, welcome to World Regional Geography. This is Module 1A. It's really just an introductory video to introduce you to the class, what my expectations are, who I am, and a little bit of what we're going to be studying this term. So let's get started. The easiest way I can say this is it's important to know kind of who's on the other end of this discussion. And so again, my name is Jack Livingston. I'm a professor at Slippery Rock University. I've been at Slippery Rock since 2000. I have a PhD in geography from the University of Kansas. I was also a Fulbright Fellow, that is, in a sense, I was a visiting faculty during my dissertation at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad. I have worked as a geographer for the U.S. Census Bureau, specializing in demography, population analysis, and I also work as an environmental consultant, primarily in the areas of geographic information systems. So, that's a little bit about kind of who I am. What I am interested in as a geographer is primarily Latin America and the Caribbean, mostly from a cultural and environmental standpoint. I'm currently doing research in Western China in the autonomous region of Xinjiang. I focus on geostatistics, that is how we understand the kind of predictive nature of geographic phenomena. And then I also work, of course, in geographic information systems, and you'll learn a little bit more about that as we go through the semester, and in cartography and visualization. Okay, so the class. This is an online class, which means to a large degree you're responsible for learning, excuse me, given the material that you have available to you. And we will interact, in a sense, one-on-one based on your quizzes and your writing assignments and then the activities that I assign. So if you think about it, you're going to have those three pieces. You have web exercises that link to critical writing and thinking. And we'll look at one of those in just a moment. And in addition to those writing and critical thinking exercises, you're also going to have module quizzes. Those are based primarily on reading and a little bit of the lecture. And then outside of that, you'll also have place name quizzes, which will use Lizard Point. And those you can take as many times as you want. But in those, I'm very interested in you simply learning your way around the world. So how does this work? Well, the module quizzes are worth essentially half of your grade. And I keep these small. They're 15 or 20 questions. But that is about half of your grade. A very small amount, enough in a sense to one-letter grade, are those place name quizzes. And as I said, you can do those as many times as you want so that everybody should earn 100% of that 10%, if you will. And then again, these quick write assignments are those critical thinking tasks. And in those are really about a one-page write-up. Usually it's a little bit less than that, certainly never more than that, where you look at geographic data and you kind of engage it. Okay, so how this works. Again, we only have a month here, and so what we have are 7 modules that you will be doing these module quizzes for that are based on our online textbook. They will be multiple choice, and for each of these I will have a series of short videos, like the one you're watching right now, that will help you study for them and understand the concepts. Remember that these quizzes are open book, open note, open anything you want. Now, you only get to take once, so be prepared to work through them. I don't really give you a time limit on them, but they do have deadlines in terms of when they're due. So the first one, Module 1, will be due on June 7th. The second one must be completed by June 12th, and you can see down the way. The last one is on Friday, June 29th. That's the end of the class. All right, so our textbook. Our textbook, I feel that textbooks have gotten very expensive, so for this class, it is a free textbook, and here you can look at it. It's a very brief textbook, but I think it does the job. And the chapters are not organized in the same way that we'll be following them in class, but you'll notice that you can read this online or you can download it as a PDF. And again, it's a free textbook. You will have a great deal of difficulty passing the online quizzes if you do not read the class content. It's not a lot of reading, but it is important to get through it. Now, the other thing that you're going to see are these place name quizzes. And I encourage you to listen to the video, watch the video that I've provided on getting yourself set up in Lizard Point. But the main thing again here is that you need to take each one of these quizzes, and you can do it in the practice mode as many times as you want. You just need to reach 80% proficiency. I do want to point out right here, you'll notice that if you look at the Africa section, you can either take the individual submodules, North Africa, West Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, Southern Africa, or you can take, there's one quiz that's all of Africa. You don't have to take the all of Africa quiz or the all of Europe quiz if you've done the submodules. Okay, it's just a different way of doing it, breaking it up into smaller pieces, if you will. Again, when you get to this, please note right here, this example is taking it as test. You don't have to do that. Take it as practice so you see when you get it right or wrong. And then up here, you'll notice that this person scored a 71%. Well, that's good, but it's not quite good enough. You need to get that to 80% or above. Okay. Again, when you register for the class, please use it as your username, if possible, an email from a university. That way I can associate it with your grade. For this class, you're also going to join a class, and you're going to join a class that's called S period, and it has to be a capital world _ REG for regional, and then summer. That's the class you'll be joining. Now, the quick write assignments or map explorations are essentially open-ended questions. These are things, or a series of questions, I'm going to ask you to look at something, some set of data or some current issue, and I want you to respond to it. So they might be things like, why does popular language refer to Africa as if it were a country? We're going to look at a couple of news stories, perhaps when we look at the African region, and say, why do we talk about Sweden or Denmark, but we often talk about Africa as if it's one thing? We might look at a question of economics and, for example, right now the trade war that's going on. We might think about immigration, for example, from Norway. Remember, these are critical thinking on a topic, and they're independent work. Now, it's perfectly okay to use outside sources for this. You can use Wikipedia, you can use online sources. Please just give me an inline citation. That is, just grab the URL that you're taking information from and put it right into your document. That's great, but make sure you do that if you're using another source. Now, what I want to give you an example of is what these critical questions might be like. For example, here's one that I used in a previous semester, and we're looking at the issue of ancestry in the United States. And what you'll notice here is that we have very distinct bands of ancestry within our country. For example, right down here, you'll notice that this is the African American belt. Then we have kind of this middle belt here, okay, and that kind of extends up an area. Then we have dominant German ancestry. And then if you go a little bit to the west, what you'll notice is you're going to see some differences there. Well, each of these, again, you can see the Italian-dominated regions in the northeast. We can see the Hispano-dominated areas here. And we might ask the question, why does it look like that? How and why does the United States break out that way? That's an example of a quick write assignment. Now, I want to introduce you to the one and how we get to them for this semester. So I'm going to get out of this, and we're going to move back to our home page. And let me take a look at our home page as it is relative to these questions. So, real quick, here's our home page. You're going to go to World Regional Geography, and you'll notice that there are 2 quizzes not attempted that are available. Okay, and those are your introductory quiz. It's kind of a practice quiz to make sure that you can do it. And then this first Module 1 quiz. So let's look at our content area. What you're going to see is that each week, or actually twice a week, a module is going to be released. Right now, the only module that's available to you is Module 1. If you click on Module 1, you're going to see this. You're going to see some objectives written for you, and then you're going to see a process. And this will happen in virtually every module. First, what I'm asking you to do is review the syllabus. Then, watch this video. There's an online, it says sign for the online geography quizzes, enroll in the class, complete oceans and continents quiz. I want to make sure that you can get that one done. Now, you can complete more than those. Then, once you've done that, we're going to go through a series of what we're doing right now. And then you're going to watch again. This is lecture A. And then you'll have lecture B that deals with physical and human constructs. And then you're going to complete the quiz. Okay? And so those are your main pieces. Okay? So again, we've got through here, your basic ideas are look at the syllabus. Watch the orientation video that is related to the lizard point. Complete the practice objectives quiz. Well, you're watching the first part of this video, and then you're going to watch the second part of the video. Then you're going to explore the web application, and there'll be a little bit of instructions on that in terms of this module 1B lecture. Once you've done all those things, take the quiz, and you're good to go. Now, I want to also show you the links. When you scroll down through here, I'm just going to give you some examples. Here is the syllabus. You can click on that. Here's your practice quiz. And then here's your Module 1 quiz. And again, don't take that until you're absolutely ready. Here's the link to Lizard Point. Here's a link to your primary textbook. And here's the link to the Quick Write web map. And that's the assignment right here. And I'm going to click on these just so that you understand kind of what is going on. Now, you'll notice here's the Word document, here's the Dropbox, and here's the web map. So let's look at this in terms of these three ideas. First, you're going to open up the Quick Write assignment. I'm going to click on that right now. And you'll notice here's a Quick Write assignment, and it asks you, in this case, it asks you some questions. And it shows you how to do a few things. And that's it. So there's really three questions. The questions are going to relate to this map. You notice at the bottom here it says submit your response to this template through the Module 1 Dropbox. Title the document, last name, it's whatever your last name is, and Quick Write 1. All right, so there's your Word document, and I would encourage you, by the way, to simply download this. If you notice at the bottom of these, there is a download option. Download it as a Word document, work there. The associated web map, I'm going to open up now, is right here. So I'm going to click on that one. I just want to introduce you. This is your first example of a geographic information system, and actually this also has some remote sensing in it, and it's what we call a story map. And so this story map has bullets along the top, and you'll notice as I move over them, view from space, topography, world climate, tectonics, earthquakes, landforms, and biomes. In this, you have a zoom in, or a zoom out, and a zoom in, and a home. It returns you to kind of this level. You also have a search tool. So I'm going to just do a quick search for, let's put in Puerto Rico. And it zooms me to that location. Now, what you'll notice is that when I click to the next map, it'll take a minute, it's going to stay in that location. So if I want to go back out, I've got to zoom back out. And it will show me different aspects of the world for those locations. Again, depending on your browser speed, things may be quick or slow. Each one of these bullets gives me information about a given area, as well as some information to answer the questions. Okay, so this is an example of our story maps, or our geographic data, as it relates to our Quick Write assignment. So you got to get used to using both of those things. All right, so let's go back to our Module 1. And so you'll notice that, again, we have what you're supposed to do. You have various links. So this is our video for the Lizard Point instructions. This is your Quick Write assignment Dropbox. This is your Quick Write assignment Word document that you're supposed to fill out. And this is the supporting material. So that's week 1 or module 1, and that's kind of an introduction to how the class works. If you have questions about accessing any of these, please let me know. Remember, excuse me, that practice quiz is just that. Okay, again, this first module I'm interested in. When you take this quiz right here, you'll notice it is a practice quiz. You must take it, but the grade doesn't count for anything. I just want to make sure that your computer works and that everything works for you in terms of the class. Again, if you have any questions, please email me. Content will become available as soon as the first, in other words, as soon as this stuff is done, you get the next one. Now, if you would like to do stuff ahead of time, usually what I will do is at least make the content available the last couple of days of the previous module. So in other words, Module 2's content will become available tomorrow, that is Tuesday, June 5th, and then usually I'll give you a couple days to get that done, and then I'll open up the next module. Okay, now if you need to work because you are going on a vacation or something, please let me know and I can release additional content to you. All right, that's it for our introductory module, Module 1A. Come back for Module 1B and we'll introduce concepts of the physical landscape.